everyone, Mike from Southside Production here. Today I want to talk about focus. Now, tack-sharp focus is one of the hallmarks of a professional camera operator. What if I told you that there was a time and a place to have things out of focus? See, sometimes what you have in focus is almost as important as what you have out of focus. For instance, picture you have two subjects, one close to the camera and one further back. Now, if you put your focus on the close person, they're your subject. They are the dominating thing in the frame, and that's what people's attention goes to. But now picture the same shot, but you put your focus on the further person. Well, now the eye is drawn towards them. And you've essentially changed the subject of your shot by just adjusting your focus. Granted, you might have to bring your composition over a little bit to kind of compensate, but that's a really easy way to get more than one shot out of the same location. Another time when changing focus is really important is when your subject leaves the frame. They just get right out of there. Maybe they go behind somebody else, or there's an obstruction in the way. Now what do? You're sitting on a shot that might be boring and uninteresting. Well, look around and try and find something in the shot. Assume for this instance that you're live and we can't cut away from you for whatever reason. Well, if the person stepped behind another person, maybe you pull your focus to that person and they're now your subject. Maybe you find an interesting piece of the set, or maybe you can turn to grab something else. But either way, when you take that focus and gently lead it to something else, you bring people's eyes along for the ride. Now, sometimes a director will ask for this. It's called a rack focus, and usually they'll talk about rack in or a rack out. That just means which side of the move is going out of focus. For instance, a rack in would be you find your focus, then you go intentionally out of focus. After your shot comes live, you slowly and gently bring things back into focus. Vice versa for the rack out. You start in focus and you're in focus until the director calls for it or you're just about to leave your shot. Then you gently pull the focus away or push it away depending on your shot. And essentially you end up with a very intentional looking move. It's not just jumping the focus around or hunting around. It's a very consistent move. Either way, focus is one of those things that only comes with practice. You can read a million books on it, but until you get behind a camera and try it, it's just not the same. Find those times when you can safely practice these kind of moves. For instance, before a rehearsal, when things haven't really started yet, sit down at your camera and find some people, stack some people up, try some focus pulls. Rack in, rack out, experiment a little bit. Find what looks good and works, and it's going to be different for every camera angle. The important thing is to practice. Anyways, that's all I wanted to focus on for today. Till next time, that's a wrap.